Hi everyone, in this tutorial we will model the stand for iPads. When you run Solidworks, displays this window. First you go in is here. Icon creates a new document. In this window here had three options: part, assembly and drawing. This options parts is used for drawing the part. Options assembly is used for take assembly of several parts which already generate in Solidworks. Options drawing is used for 2D engineering drawing, typical of a part or assembly. In this case, we will take options parts, and this is the menu that we get. Before we start with the modeling, first we need to create a folder where we save our models. We do this in the following way. Click on the icon to save. Determine the position where we will create a new folder. In our case, let it be a desktop. And we will give it a name, stand for iPads. And in this folder we will save as the first part, of which we'll call part 1. Now make 2D sketches. These are tools for creating 2D sketch. For example, this is the line, this is the circle, and so on. First we will click on the icon sketch. Then we have to choose one of three planes. For example, we take a top lens. First we take an options to create a rectangle. When we draw a rectangle, must determine its dimensions. If we want to enter the width dimensions, is enough to click on the line that indicate the width. Then enter the desired width, which in our case is 5 mm. Repeat this for the line that indicate the length, but in this case 100 mm in take. It is now necessary to draw two circles. Then, with trim options, we delete the lines that we don't need it. Press and hold the right mouse click and drag it over the line you want to delete. Now we are done with our first sketch. It is now necessary to extrude. We do this by clicking on the option feature, then extrude options. Now we need to enter extruding length. In our case, it is 20 mm. When we enter the length, we need to click on the icon OK. Now, need to draw a new sketch on one of the surface of this part. With the left mouse button, click on the desired surface and select Option Sketch. Here are the options offered to review the model, and we will take the view Normal 2. We take the tool for draw lines and draw a next sketch. Now need to put dimensions of the lines. In this case, in addition to the length of the line, should be entered and the angle at which it is. In our case, it is 285 degrees. For the other lines, we have to look to be perpendicular. When we finished the sketch, we go into options extruding cut. We rotate the model to see what we do. Enter the length of the extrusion process. In our case it is 5 mm, but look to be a little longer than that and put it to be 8 mm. Now we make a new sketch on the same surface. First, draw a line down the middle of our surface. Then draw a rectangle so that the previously drawn line is somewhere in the middle of the rectangle. Dimensions of the rectangle are width 10 mm and length 15 mm. Now we use the options Smart Dimensions to take exact position of the rectangle. The line in the middle of our rectangle we don't need, so we delete. Now it is necessary to make the option extruding cut. A rectangle has to go through the whole model. Then press OK. Now they need to make a space for the cylinder. We make a circle of radius 1 mm so that it goes through the whole model. The dimensions of the extrude can be entered by pushing the arrow to the desired length, but we are put dimensions of 25 mm. Now we will have create another circle of radius 2 mm in the center of the previous circle. Extruding cut is 1 mm. Now we repeat the same with the another side of the models. Now he has left to round off the edges. We use the options fillet. First, we round edge with a certain radius of 5 mm. Then with a radius of 2 mm. Before using the command, if we want to see in advance what was going to happen, we click on Options Full Preview. Now are left to round off the edges with a radius of 0.5 mm. First part is finished. Hi everyone, today I will explain the rest of the modeling stands for iPod. Since the second part is very similar to the first part, modeling of the second part starting with opening the part 1. We click on the open, find the folder on the desktop stands for iPods and open part 1. As you can see, from our left side is located a window. In this window are saved all our steps that we use to model part 1. They are boss extrude, cut extrude, fillet. Because they are parts 1 and 2 are very similar, before the second part of modeling is necessary to delete some steps. First of all, we delete all fillet steps. Then we erase step cut extrude 1, as well as a sketch which we carried out the cut extrude options. What remains now is to delete the cut extrude step 2, but we will save a sketch with which we are committed extrude cut option. Click on sketch 3 on the right mouse button and select edit sketch. As you can see, there is a rectangle that we use for the cut extrude options in the modeling part 1. We now need to delete everything that is above the rectangle and everything below this rectangle. It will do so as we draw 2 more rectangles with the options of the rectangle. After we draw 2 rectangles, it is necessary to delete the old rectangle. We go to Feature, Extruded Cut, check whether the rectangle passes through the entire model and click OK. We now need to make a stop. To stand, iPod movement was limited. Click on this surface, right click on the sketch. We draw the following form. Dimensions of line is 0.5 millimeters. With options trim, we delete unnecessary lines. We are going to consume the options fillet 0.5 mm dimensions and select the lines and click on OK. Now what's left to close the contour. We are going to extrude options, select up to surface and choose the surface that we want to exact the options to extrude. Since the part that modeling locate and on the other side of this part, I choose options direction 2, up to surface and surface to choose who will perform the options to extrude. Then press options OK. Turn around and pick the model surface and sketch and draw the same sketch as we draw on the first part. When we finish the sketch, go to option Extrude Cut and perform cutting. All we have left to take advantage of the options to fillet the same way that we used to model part 1. First the radius of 5 mm, then the radius of 2 mm, and the end the radius of 0.5 mm. Part 2 is finished, and the rest is to save the model. Named is the part 2. Now we model part 3. Select the desired plane and draw the following form. Dimensions are 19 mm, 2 mm, and 1 mm. Dimensions of this line is 1.25 mm. Now we are finished the sketch and go to the new options revolve. We have to select the line around that our sketch will be turned, then press OK. Part 3 is finished. Now save as part 3. Now we start with the modeling of the last part. Click on the new part and select the plane in which you want to modeling. Drawing the following form. Dimensions are 19 millimeters, 2 millimeters, 1 millimeter. Put 0.25 millimeters. Then with options trim, delete an unnecessary line. Take revolve options, select a line of rotation and click OK. Now we finish the old parts of stands for iPods. Named of this part is part 4. Hi everyone. Because we create all parts of stands for iPods, now need to create assembly. Click on New, Assembly. On our left side is the browser button. Click on it, select it part 1 and then open. Now you need to enter part 2. Click Assembly, Insert Component and select part 2. Click Move Component, then Rotate Component and then rotate the model as I do that. We now need to make a connection between the two parts. Click Options Mate. Select here two surfaces, make sure that the option concentrics marked and then click OK. Now we need to equate the two surfaces. Select these two surfaces and press OK. As you can see, the parts can only move about an axis through which they are attached. This is the maximum point that can be moved. Now you need to enter the remaining two parts, which we will set up through this hole. As you can see, the stand is assembled. And in the end it would look like.